living a life of crime, lies, deceit, disloyalty. Fake niggas fucked up the streets with all this poison. Anything pop off, motherfuckers recording it. Broke bitches choicing. Damn, my mama warned me. Damn, I should've listened.
Okay, there you guys go. All right. No echo this time? Can
I'm
we
hearing
sound
it.
better?
Yeah, it sounds better.
Sounds much better.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And so before we left, we were talking about, how you guys have been feeling, the last couple weeks with everything that's been going on.
Yeah.
And you were talking about the conviction and things like that.
Yeah. It's been hard. It's been very tough, especially having a loved one and someone that you're with and close to every day, and then having them snatched away from you. Going through the trial, because we were going through the trial for 2 years before this sentencing actually happened. So going through that every day, and then having an unfair trial.
Yeah.
This whole time, having bad representation, us not knowing too much about the legal process and how it goes, and it is very stressful, but we hold it together because we know that we have to count on each other, and especially right now because he just got sentenced to life plus 10 years without the possibility of parole. So we're in the process of appealing that decision now.
Right. And it has been tough, just seeing the amount of defamation of character that how they're painting him out to be. It's very disturbing, because we've always dealt with this, but at a smaller scale when it came to like our leader and playing all these videos. It's like straight defamation of character. People are making having talk shows about him like they know him, and it's just very disturbing. So I thank you for this just open and clean platform, because you're genuinely interested in like the case and like what we've been going through, because it's a lot of drama with people that Eligio has helped, our husband has helped, and it's just crazy how people are just kind of feeding off of his name in a negative way. So I'm thankful.
Okay, definitely. So I know you mentioned that there's some issues with how you feel that there's misrepresentation of, the group. How would you like to be represented when people talk about what was formerly known as carbonation, now is imagination? How would you guys like to be referred as? Like, what would be the appropriate term?
So I know that we started this live. We had just started talking, but for everybody who's new, who are coming in the room, I do want to introduce myself and introduce ourselves so that everybody knows what we're talking about. I go by Mama Aya, or Goddess Aya,
Goddess Ephraim.
And our husband is Eligio Bishop. People know him as Nature Boy. That's what everyone knows him mostly as. So when we talk about what we want people to actually view us as or see us as, is that we have to remember that at the same time, he's a human being. A lot of people don't get to see his light and see what a good person that he really is. And, because he has this big light and he has this big message to share with the world, a lot of people don't like him. And they've made it a thing to go after him and everyone that is around him who agree in spreading this truth, and they just attack us. If you go and research and put in his name or put in our names right now, you're gonna see a bunch of hate. You're going to see a bunch of labels that don't represent who we truly are. We're not a cult.
Right.
You know, that and we time and time again we explain it to many different people, and the sound intellectual minds, they get it. But for everyone who is, like, jumps on bandwagons and stuff like that, it's more easier for them to hate than to actually know more about who we are.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, um it is a shame, because a lot of people during this time I have gotten to see how ugly people can be. How ugly people can be in wishing something bad to happen to a person. You know, so I don't agree with it at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, would you say that instead of being labeled like a cult, it's more maybe focusing on like the polygamy of the situation, that you guys are like in a polygamous kind
I
of?
would say that we always refer to it as a family.
Mm,
Cause our husband, Eligio, he started off this journey by himself.
Yeah.
He was in a room, he decided and felt within himself that he wanted to partake on a spiritual journey and get more in tune with nature and come back to a more natural state, as a human being, and be a part of the ecosystem. And so he took it upon himself to kind of separate himself from the everyday life, the fast paced life of society. And he pretty much just shared his whole journey online. And he would teach about the technologies of the body. He taught about grounding, the importance of connecting to the earth. He teaches about melanin, biology, quantum physics. These are just things that he taught on his social media and platform. And people who would watch his videos would take an interest, and he inspired many people to also do the same thing.
Yeah.
And some of these people actually asked, like, hey, can I come with you on your journey? He would tell people, these are the processes to take when you come into your natural state, because you can't just do a quick switch like that. You have to start by changing your diet, uh, having natural hair as women, taking the dye out of your hair. It's the step by step process. And so other people decided that they wanted to take that process too.
mhm,
And he actually opened his home. He opened his doors to his home to people who, said that they wanted to live the same way. And we always called it a family. He always called it a family. We all,
Yeah.
what we say, family is frequency. The people who you grow up with, that might be your blood, but you might not get along with them. Sometimes,
mhm,
the friends that we were closer to the friends that we had than family, because, just energy and chemistry.
mhm.
Yeah.
So we always, family frequency, the people who think like you, those are the people that you will be able to relate more to. And
Okay.
so since we it is a big change coming from, the
Traditional.
industrialized, society, and coming back into nature. um it is a big difference. And when you start tapping into certain parts of yourself, people that you used to hang around probably not going to get you no more.
Mhm.
So we he
He has been through a lot of trauma himself in his life, and maybe that is a reason why we may not understand in terms of like the ways that he's dealing with different people or women in his life. And so I just like to keep that in mind too, as well, when trying to understand, like, why people are led to certain behaviors. And I think that for him, maybe in the, we're missing that a lot of his source of his trauma is his childhood as well.
Yeah. I think that a lot of people, they do say that, you
Mhm.
know, um I think that a lot of people are mistaken,
Okay.
because he has healed a lot of that trauma.
Okay.
He's actually helped people. He's in the position, because he has healed that trauma, he's in the position to help other people heal their traumas.
Okay.
And that is why when everybody, the majority of people met him, he was on top of a mountain and people came asking him questions on how they can get their life right.
Right.
So when people come into his life, he's such a passionate person that he cares a lot, and he doesn't want to see people doing the wrong thing.
Mhm.
So when these people come into his life and they have traumas themselves, and he's like a coach. He's like trying to tell you, like, okay, don't go that route, don't do this, do this. But sometimes we have an attitude with our coach. We don't want to do stuff that they say. We feel like, oh, fuck you, and we want to curse them out and hit them and throw things at them or storm out the door, when he's just trying to help. He was
Okay.
basically just, that's all he was trying to do, was help people. And a lot of people did come into his life. He treats us very, very well.
Okay.
Everybody was able to, at one point, they just basically, everybody did what they wanted to do.
Okay.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
and um I know that he is just how Indians or white people have Sadhguru, these people have these gurus.
Mm.
I know that he is a guru for black people. And he triggers traumas, and he shows people their own traumas within themselves. Sometimes when other people are not aware of themselves, and he brings up a certain trauma, or even if it's not him, if a certain trauma
Right.
comes through another person, you know, you have to sit there and deal with it. A part of coming into nature, you are faced with yourself. You're faced with
Okay.
all, your shadows, your demons, and Chief just brings that. He brings that out of people. He shows that to people.
Yeah.
The stuff that we have to work on.
Yeah. And because he holds himself to a very high standard, these people try to get on his standard, and most of the time aren't able to do that. But it's not his fault if you're not able to live up to the way that he lives. He holds himself in a very high regard, very high esteem. And so it's not his fault.
Yeah, and regardless of how people think about him, at the end of the day, he's innocent. He's
Mm.
innocent of those charges. The people who do follow us, they are very aware of the character,
Whole
the
story.
characteristics of these people who came and left and came and left, who we seen struggle with polygamy, who we seen be over here and over here, So
Yeah.
it doesn't matter what people feel about him at this point.
It's like, did he do those charges which was brought against him? No, he didn't. And I don't think enough light is shed on that. All of the light is around other things that
Except
doesn't have
that.
anything to do with that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
even this moment, even what he's going through, how they
Excuse me.
did him in
Sorry.
the court, how the system does black men, black women,
And how the judge caught COVID.
How
How the judge caught.
she caught COVID, and it's
Yeah,
supposed to be of high
5 day
standards.
quarantine.
Like,
Yeah.
you're a judge, you're supposed to be above guidelines. Like, you're supposed to be practicing above and beyond, you know?
But they don't care. And that's another thing that's showing us another trauma within the black community, and something that we have to work on within ourselves. He's just a catalyst for, I feel like, black people, and to show us everything we have to work on.
Yeah. And then if you do research on this sort of things, it's like, false testimonies and false accusations are the leading cause for black men to be incarcerated at an alarming rate, because later on down the line many people come back and saying, oh, I was upset with them, I didn't get my way.
But at that point, they don't care.
But at that point, they done already spent half of their life fighting to try for their innocence. But it is a something that needs to be looked at, like false testimonies, false allegations. That's the leading cause, and black men are very vulnerable to it because the system doesn't care anything about it. If you can have a charge that holds a life sentence, and a testimony only be enough for you to be convicted of that for life, there's something wrong with that. If you don't have a reasonable, you can't prove that that happened.
Right.
That shouldn't be
So
just a thing to do, is to charge somebody. I mean, there's people who've murdered people and haven't even got a charge such as that.
I agree. My phone's actually dying. So before we cut out, I just want to give you like time to share any last messages that you want the public to know. And, I thank you so much for your time. And, we had to make some adjustments. We can always, do follow-ups and things like that. I know that we wanted to keep to the time that we had set for today, but
Yeah.
and talk, specifically about the malicious prosecution piece and, the feelings that you guys had in terms of that, and trying to didn't understand how he got a life sentence plus 10 years.
Right.
So yeah, what are, any like last messages or just things that you want people to keep in mind when it comes to him and his case? And
Keep in mind,
what's, and sorry not to cut you off, what's, moving forward, in addition to helping him, but like, what are you ladies going to be, doing? Maybe any, goals for yourself, can do both, but, anything that's on the horizon for you both as well.
I think that people should focus on the facts of the case. There was no evidence to prove this. And if there wasn't any evidence to prove this, then how did he get a life sentence without the possibility of parole? That's a very big question. And it needs to be answered. Because for somebody to be sentenced answered. Because for somebody to be sentenced to that, they must.
Hey yo, if you enjoy this content, please support the channel at. And oh yeah, don't forget to follow me on all my social media platforms, especially Rumble, because I can put content on there that I can't put on YouTube. So please support that. I will put my beacon link in the description box. That way you can follow me on all social media, Discord, Facebook, Twitter, wherever. You can follow me wherever. Please support the movement. CV Killer forever.